So I have sung the praises of the Fuji X100T a few times on this channel and in multiple videos, but I think this video may take the cake as far as the lavish praise I heap upon this camera, because it really is probably my favorite iteration of the X100 series because it has the beautiful X-Trans 2 sensor that I adore. And the button layout and the usability is much more refined than the X100 or X100S. So right off the bat, it is my favorite of the X100 line. The X100V giving it a run for its money with how the flip screen is designed, but I digress. The point is, my family and I were fortunate to be invited along with my cousin and his family, a 2-week adventure. 2 weeks of getting to explore new places, getting to go on adventures, and we jumped at the chance. We jumped at the opportunity. And I only took the X100T with me along for this ride because, quite honestly, I wanted to travel as light as possible, and I didn't want to take multiple camera bodies and lenses. I wanted one compact camera to get me through the entire trip. And to me, a lot of people speak to the X100 series using it for street photography, but I think it really shines in street photography, but in travel as well. To me, it is the perfect travel companion, and was the perfect travel companion for me on this 2-week excursion. It handled every situation I threw at it, every sort of compositional scenario, every sort of lighting situation. Just the focal length, that 35mm focal length, just is such a good all-purpose field of view for travel, I found. It even unfortunately got a little wet when it rained on us in a rainforest, but I didn't have any problems with it. Took the battery out, left it open, all the ports open, let it dry out for a little while, and no issues. But man, was the enjoyment of photography on this trip was just exponential compared to what I've been experiencing lately in my photography. Part of it was having amazing locations to photograph, having amazing subjects like my cousin and my son. And then part of it was just the simplicity of having this one camera, not having to worry about what focal length am I going to use, what camera am I going to take. Just having this with me every day through every scenario and just being able to document this trip through a little bit of landscape and nature photography, but just documenting what we were doing on a day-to-day basis, whether it was going for an hour-long walk along the coastline to an abandoned lighthouse or, ruins of a lighthouse, to exploring new beaches, to jumping off waterfalls in a rainforest, to hiking through trails, 1,500 feet up from sea level, to even hanging laundry in the Airbnb that we were staying at. This camera was just an amazing tool, an amazing companion to have to document this journey that my family went on. And again, I think these images speak to the X-Trans 2 and what I love about it so much. And to the lens. I think this lens a lot of time gets a bad rap for being soft, wide open at certain distances and whatnot. But I would say 90% of the photos I took on this trip were stopped down to anywhere from f4 to f8, probably around 5.6 a lot of the time. And quite honestly, the lens paired with the sensor, very sharp, very good optical performance. And it impresses me, 16 megapixels of resolution with this, small prime lens. I'm pretty blown away every time I use this thing by the results you can get. And the colors coming off the sensor, it's so easy to edit in post. I start off with a raw file, put a classic chrome simulation over it, and then adjust from there. Boost vibrancy, contrast, you do some local adjustments with subjects, but just the look you get out of these files, I love so much. So for me at least, the X100T is the perfect adventure camera, well, more or less. If it had weather sealing like the X100V has, then it might be, you could say, the perfect. That aside, the image quality, the sensor, the lens, the lightweight and compact nature, and then just the controls and usability of the X100T for me, just all around make this such an enjoyable camera to use and to take on an excursion like this. And just to document these things that we're going to have for a lifetime to look back on and have not just photos I snapped with my cell phone, but, memorable photos for us for our entire lives. And the fact that I could just focus on enjoying this trip and not really worrying about the gear aspect of my photography was so enjoyable to me, so freeing, and it allowed me to, at the risk of sounding a little pretentious, be in the moment as we were experiencing this trip. The camera, the gear just didn't get in the way. It wasn't at the forefront of my mind. It was there when I needed it. It did its job. Didn't get in the way, and produced amazing results. It is the camera I want on me anytime I'm traveling or going on some sort of adventure. So there you go, a 2-week adventure to an amazing place I've never been before, with amazing landscapes, amazing adventures to go on while there. What do I pick? X100T every time. Every time. It's proven itself to me by now, especially this trip is, being a highlight of that, as being a capable travel camera, a one camera and lens setup to have when doing excursions like these. And that's where I want to end it. That's where I want to end, heaping praise yet again on the ever so awesome X100T. Let me know what you guys think about the photos and about this camera in the comments below. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching.